that's ridden up there, so I'll use super glue to hold that down. Won't use more araldite for that. So the araldite has filled up the space between the silver and the wood, which is really as much as I wanted it to do in a way, because as much as it's can be used for success as the glue, it does often crack quite easily on metal. So that's all right there. And I kind of expected that to happen a little bit. It happened at the other end on this part. Is all right anyway, after all. So that's 1,200 grit. And I think I might have some that's 2,000 or so, which I'll use, and then after that it's just polishing with teacup, something like that. So that 1,200 grit was the strongest I had, so now I'm going to try just with paper. This isn't jewellery, so at a certain point I'll just let it be. I don't want to take it up to total as shiny as it can become, because you won't be able to do this polishing when the strings are on anyway, so it will just tarnish and go black, which is fine. That's glue on there maybe. Still a little bit of glue here and there. I could probably just use a rubber to get some of the black off there. I'm not sure what paper. I think it's something like 2,500. I think is the equivalent of. But don't quote me on that. I might be wrong. I think that's almost good enough now to start just using polish and cloth. So that's with a rubber, and the rubber cleans up the woodwork quite nicely. Try with a little bit of brass rubbing compound and some cotton. So this is the bit that might make the woodwork really dirty, so I think I might actually tape it up again before I start. This is a kind of pumice rich copper polish. Right, and then the last one will be silver, which has very fine, again I think it's a pumice based one, but this time it's very fine. I'm not sure about the chemicals in these things, but this is just the classic silver. Although all of these products are no longer as good as they used to be because they've kind of decided to try and make more profit out of them. And they got full of horrible thinners that they never used to have. Or at least they had thinners before, but not such horrible ones. I'm not pressing too hard, I'm just letting the product do the job. There are perhaps a couple of light scratches there, but I'm not going to worry too much about it because I've still got quite a lot of work to do on this guitar, and it's quite likely that it'll get scratched more before it's finished. But you know, truth is that now it's pretty shiny, so I'm going to go in. It's more shiny than the old bit that I did last time. I mean the top piece, this one. Now this wood isn't treated with anything, so obviously it is possible that it gets quite dirty doing this polishing stuff, so try with a rubber just to clean up the woodwork again. Right, it's good enough for me anyway, that's fine. So I need to go and find some super glue to glue down this edge. Make sure that's flooded in there. That's good. Bubbling out, so it must be good. I'm holding that down tight. Now it would be nice to have some accelerator. Seemed to work all right actually. I'll let that set for a bit before I start scratching around too much. I've marked with preliminary marks the string positions, but I haven't set the depth yet. I might planish the silver out a little bit more there because there's still a tiny little gap. Planishing is is using that part of the hammerhead, and it just with these small dents you can stretch the metal out. It's quite good if you want to fill up gaps and stuff. So this just I'm doing the back edges. I'll do the front edge with the needle files that are specially made for it, but they don't actually bite very much, those things. So I'm doing the back edge with a proper file. And I'm following the direction to the actual posts. They're not straight. They're slightly fanned towards the posts. So there's nothing wrong with them being wide at the back edge, but it's a good idea that they're snug at the front edge at least. I'm going to do some decorative carving. I'm going to go over to a wider file. It's a chainsaw, broken chainsaw file. So the actual depth of the fine tuning and the depth of the cuts there, I'm going to wait until I've got more strings on. So that's a much later process. But since I was filming, I've changed the since I was filming last, I've changed the machine heads to ones that lock, and I think I prefer the silver colour with this guitar. The black, there's a bit too much contrast. I'll make a few more videos of making this guitar at a later date, But in the meantime, maybe you'd like to see some films of making and repairing other things, in which case just have a look at my YouTube channel. Bye for now.